Alright guys, let's talk about the new Seiko Great White Turtle model. This particular one is the made in Japan one. This is actually the sbdy031, but for us USA folk, this is going to be the srpd21, and I'll put a link in the description to Mimo's jewelry, and I'm gonna bring in an srpd21 and I'll try to compare it to the sbdy031 and see if there are any differences. I'm guessing the only thing that we're going to notice is probably the day wheel. This one has the, what is it called, the Kenji day wheel. So I'm guessing that's probably going to be the only change. I highly doubt there's any other difference. So I'll probably have a different secondary day wheel is all. So like this one has the, you can see there, has the different Kenji characters. So I think that's about all we're going to see difference-wise. I could be wrong, but hopefully I'll have that soon. Mimo's going to send one over. This one I purchased from a Japanese supplier. There was no discount or special treatment or anything like that, so I'm not even going to disclose who it was. However, I will say that this one has perfect alignment. So that is really good. And I guess I can give you a hint. It's from the same person that Bruce Williams gets his JDM models from. I just ended up buying one outright. Excuse me. So once the other one comes in, I'll do a full comparison of those two, but I just wanted to share this one with you for sure. Of course, the first noticeable draw to this watch is going to be the dial. It is a beautiful blue dial. I like the wave pattern on there, and of course you have the great white fin there just off the 8 o'clock indice just inboard of that. And of course you have the balance side of the seconds wheel or hand that is also a little bit different shape to also mimic that fin. Now you'll also notice that you have the larger indices and the way they're filled. I mean, they're filled to capacity. I mean, they're maxed out. So the new format they're doing for dial construction is good. Like, I'm definitely happy with the way they're doing it. They're consistent, clean, and well loomed, we'll just say. I also am a big fan of the brushed style hands. I had noticed for the longest time the polished hand set on a lot of watches, so it's nice to see some brushed work to match the, well, for one, when I go to mod it and I take this one out and I put it in an SKX case or a CT700 case, I'm going to use a brushed chapter ring. So it's the handset's going to work good for me. Maybe you want to see the polished, maybe you want to see the brushed. Either way, I think it looks good. So it focuses more on the actual hand and less, or it focuses more on the dial and draws less bling factor to the handset. You know, that's just there. It does reflect light and it does hold a lot of lume. They don't need to be on a full polished realm as well. So you can see the bezel insert is way more dynamic. It has the the record player look to it with the grooves, and then of course the deep grooving for the dots all the way around and the markers, and then of course the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then also on the loom pip up top there that has a hardlex glass over the pip, so it's protected. The other big change with this is the bezel itself. Although it be about the same measurement, the fitment to the case is much better than the old one. This one's actually really tight, you can see, but there's a little more gap there, and you can see just the overall texture and shape of the bezel is much different. You can see the one on the right is a Blue Lagoon or an srpd21, and it is a softer feel. There's less traction on it versus these new turtles. I'm assuming it's going to be on all the new turtles, hopefully, because the traction on it is so much more positive. It's not abrasive or anything like that, but it's definitely secure. And I also like the new bezel inserts. Hopefully they do the future colorways in the same pattern, because it catches light good, but it's not as like reflective, not being ceramic. It's it's going to be a metal bezel insert, but to get that silver color like that is like brilliant. Hopefully even maybe the aftermarket will start producing some bezel inserts to replicate these factory ones for us modders as well, because I would love to see some of these done as well. So other than that, I believe like the crown and everything looks about the same. The finishing is actually a little bit different on it. It looks a little more brushed versus polished. So I guess those are different and updated as well. But the coin edge on it and everything looks about the same. The case finishing is still like top notch. You have the nice polished belly there with the brush surface up top. Never been a big fan of the factory bracelets on this. This is just one I had laying around. This is the actual bracelet that it came on, but it should be identical. And it's good finishing and everything. I'm pretty sure it's pin and collar, if I remember right after sizing it. But I just don't like the way they fit to the case. And I'm sure you could tighten that up with probably different spring bars. But I'm not a big fan of these. I would like to see a different... I know there's some other bracelet options out there. I just haven't exploited them all. And quite frankly, I'm not a huge fan of the turtle. And maybe I should be, because I know they're good watches, but I feel like it's just a little too big on my wrist. And I know it's not. I know it wears fine. Like, it's comfortable. There's no hot spots. And I should really like it. I just prefer the SKX on wrist. So it's just a personal preference. I know there's a ton of people out there, my size wrist and even smaller, that actually prefer the turtles. For one, you don't have to monkey around with it. It's already factory sealed. It's going to have the water resistance and everything that you want. But on this specific one, I think it's about as good as the Blue Lagoon. So there's been a lot of other blue ones. I think I have one here somewhere. I don't know where I set it. So some of the other like Save the Ocean ones are darker, and these are definitely more vibrant. The Blue Lagoon, it was probably my favorite for the longest time, but now I could see where this great white might steal the show a little bit, just because it's got some texture to it, so it kind of breaks it up a little bit, and they're going to be available. Whereas the Blue Lagoons are kind of hard to get, and the prices are definitely trending upward on them. And, you might not like the yellow dashes on there. I personally do like them, but I'm all about buying the new models too, you guys. I'm not immune to it, just like you guys like to see the new models come out and buy them. I'm the same way. If anything, probably have it even worse than most people. So when a new colorway or a model comes out from Seiko, I'm all about it. I want to see it for sure. So I forget what I paid for this, but if you go over to Mimo, like I said, I'll put a link to his site in the description. If you're looking for the srpd21, it might not be exactly like this, be warned, but the list price on it is $525. And then if you use Seiko, so SEIK25, you're going to get the 25% off. That's the new pricing structure with Seiko, guys. I don't know if you're aware of this, but they have cracked down on all of their ADs about offering discounts. They are controlling the price points on their models. Whether you like it or not, it's probably a good thing. And I've talked to some ADs that are not a big fan of it. But if they can control it and keep it clean across the board, I think in the long run, it's going to put their brand value at a better point, a better level. So they're still good watches. You're still going to be able to get them just below suggested retail, and that is totally fine. They're still really, good value watches. Again, this one, you can see on the case back there, it says special edition, not limited edition. So you're going to be able to get these for a little bit. This is a made in Japan model. So the other ones are not going to say that. The srpd21 are not going to say that. So guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to keep this under 10 minutes. I'll give you a Loom Shot real quick, and then I'm out of here because we're getting close. So you can see the loom is on point. It is very good. Nothing changed there, and we don't want it to. Seiko does not need to change that or improve it. They already nailed it. See you on the next vid, guys.